Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. I'm High Lord Tamerlane, and this is a piece of plastic that came from Bellum's new Conquest game. This is in fact one of their House Knight sprues. This came from the core box, and it's pretty much the same thing you would get if you went and bought one of the unit expansion boxes, with the exception that the expansion box actually has the command bits, whereas this does not. This does, in fact, however, have a super gigantic horse. Keep in mind that Conquest is at its own scale. It's about 40 millimeters. It's not the same as your beloved GW or Kings of War stuff, so keep that in mind. But I figure, you know what, it's pretty cool looking nonetheless. So just looking at a quick glance over, I'm trying to figure out how we put everything together here. And looks like our horse is two pieces. I don't know why there's two lances. They're not super different from each other. Looks like these are the torso parts, skirt armor of some sort, pauldrons or hip armor, I'm not sure. I don't know where the guy's head is either. Oh, okay, here it is. We've got knight helmets. I kind of wonder if I can snip off the men-at-arms Steel Legion dude heads and replace it with one of those. That might look kind of cool. Thoughts. I'm not sure what this part is right here. Is it a horse hoof? No, horse has all this stuff. Reins are two pieces. Optional cape bit. Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut all this off and let's start taking a look at how it all goes together. Alright, we've got our horsey friend all ready to go here. You can see it consists of two halves. We have the back part of the saddle, or actually I should say the front part of the saddle, because the back part is going to make an indentation for the rider to sit on. There are two different optional armor parts for the head, both quite ornate looking. I was wondering why the horse face looks so weird. That's what those are. These two things do not actually go on the rider. They're skirt armor for the front of the horse. If I have it on the correct side, which I don't think I do. It's basically, well, shucks, I don't remember how it goes on now. I figured it out earlier. Something like that. That doesn't look like the right side. It really doesn't. Yeah, there we go. So it's going to go like this. So you have the kind of, I don't know what you call this stuff, part of the saddle, and it's filigree. Anyway, it's going to go there. Part of its decorative bits. And then finally we have the two parts to the reins. So I'm going to put the horse all together and then we'll take a look at the rider. Before we grab that horse, let's take a quick look at the mounted knight parts. He's going to have 2 feet, obviously. His torso and chest is a 2-part piece. You have his other arm for the offhand with the shield. There are 2 shield choices, 2 lance choices, 2 head choices, 2 headdress. These just kind of glue on to the top. I'm not sure which direction. Maybe that way. We'll figure that out. So you have 2 options there, and then finally you have the cape as well. This is only off of 1 kit, and I want to say that at least there's 1 more horse design than the one that we already put together. So you probably do have a good amount of variation in terms of parts here. So we went ahead and built most of the horse. Notice I say most, and that's only because I didn't put the reins on yet. I got to double check, look at some pictures online. So the horse itself looks pretty decent. I wish some of the parts of the armor were a little bit deeper cuts. It's a little, I mean, looking at the video here, even while I'm recording this, it looks pretty decent, but up close and personal, I feel like it's a little bit more shallow than I'd really like. It's not as crisp and as clear as I think it should be. Here's that part of the saddle. It actually kind of meshes in with the neck armor there. So I told you guys I wanted to grab some other horses just to get a good idea of what kind of scale this is looking at. Now I don't know where I put the bases for these, but just to give you an idea, it's about the same size base. Gregor Clegane is on a 50, whereas my horsey here is on a 60. And I mean, the horses themselves are probably pretty close in size. But then again, you know, Clegane is supposed to be a ridiculous mountain of a man. Grabbing a Varengard model here. I think these are the biggest horses at the moment that GW makes. And again, about the same size. So I don't know if you really wanted to try mounting a Stormcast on here. Obviously they've got like the dragon thingies already, so they don't really need actual horse cavalry. But these are going to be a lot bigger than if you wanted to use them as Bretonnians or I don't even know what else. I think for a game like Kings of War, though, since these guys are so big and they're going to be sitting on 50mm bases, you only need a couple of them, and you got yourself a whole unit right there of, you know, pretty strong-looking cavalry, and hell, you can throw Resort Clegane in there while you're at it, even. So I'm thinking I'm going to paint them all up the same. I got to double-check what kind of colors he's supposed to have. But anyway, that's enough talking about him and the horse. Let's get the knight actually put together as well. So our first knight is all finished for the most part. I still didn't bother putting the reins on him yet. But I gotta say, I am pretty impressed with this, and this is kind of like what I always imagined the old electoral counts, or whatever they were called, from the Empire supposed to be like. Quite imposing and big. I mean, he is a big model. There is no denying that, but that's just going to make him a lot more cooler to paint. Keeping in mind that this is Parabellum's own scale, so all their stuff is going to be scaled to this kind of closer to 40mm size. And I don't really have a problem with that, but, you know, he is a big model. I mean, he's almost bigger than Clegane, so he does scale well, though, with the Parabellum Conquest infantry. Come in to support him there. And I noticed as I was pawing through the box, let me just set him there, that the other horses and their knights actually have completely different armor. So you can see here, this one's got this kind of arrow pattern going on, and then he's got, where was it? Oh, he's got like this crazy funky headdress with like a Zerium looking sun baby face thing going on there. There's another one right here. Looks like he's got the visor up or something, or some kind of a golden mask on top of that. So he has a totally different shield than our friend here. And then looking at a third horse, I'm sorry, second, no, I guess it is a third. Wait a minute, how many do I have? Looks like I got 4 of them. Okay, interesting. This guy actually has totally different armor on his horse as well. And where's his head? So he's got a completely different style helmet. You can see right there. And I don't know what that is. I think that's the top, the headdress. It looks like an eagle or something. So there is going to end up being quite a lot of variety with your knights. So like I said, I think if you wanted to use these like they're supposed to be used, they're going to be a great little unit. If you're going to use them in games of Kings of War, you only need really a box or two, and you've got yourself a big, fat, heavy armored cavalry unit, especially for like the Basilians, or I don't know if the Northern Alliance can take anything like that, but just a thought. So all your mass combat games. And another nice thing is he's actually designed to just kind of right on and off the horse. You don't need to worry about gluing him down, so you can get everything painted. So overall, a nice little kit. I'm looking forward to painting the rest of mine. That says something, because I usually do not go in for big mass combat games, and the fact that I've actually already started painting this stuff says volumes already. So I am eagerly looking forward to seeing what else is released, preferably something that's not human, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. With that said, this is Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, and thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with more. Bye-bye.